Hey guys, how we doing? I kind of change things around a little bit here. Hey Brett, how you doing, buddy? Hey Brett, I want to get up and show you my sign real quick here, really. I don't think I showed you this yet, but hey, it's still wrapped in plastic. That's why it's so glossy. It really is an old looking sign, but I found this on Temu, and it was only a couple bucks, and I was like, yeah, send it to me. And when I got it, I was thinking of you, man, because butt nuggets. I think you need this sign probably more than I do. Yeah, but farm fresh butt nuggets. I thought that was just so cool. It's kind of ironic that I actually knew that where it was. Yeah, I know. That's what I said when I seen that. I was like, oh, I got to have that sign. What I'm going to do is next year. My chickens all died this year. I had to deal with a Fisher cat this year, and I'm going to redo everything so I don't have to deal with that thing again. And if I catch him in the yard, he's going to be under camera on a motion sensor, so that if he's out there, it's going to light up the yard so I can see him on camera. And even though I live in New York and it's supposedly illegal to shoot them if they're causing you financial hardship, then you are allowed to. And it's killing your chickens. That's financial hardship part right there. My plan is to raise chickens and sell eggs in a refrigerator up front of our seed house. So I'm thinking that if I can make it work, I'm gonna take that sign because the refrigerator I have has a all metal front on it, and it's gonna have that sign on there. I'll probably go on my vinyl lettering and just say the price per dozen above it, and then take 4 magnets and put them on the front of the refrigerator and stick that sign to it so that people know, hey, you can come here and buy your farm fresh butt nuggets. I barely know where anything is. Actually, every time I think I know where something is, it's either my employee moved it to somewhere it's not supposed to be. I'm kind of OCD on that kind of thing. Yeah, no, not maggots, magnets. If my employee doesn't move it to someplace where it's not supposed to be, my girlfriend does. And she'll be like, well, I put it over here. Well, great. Why do I have to keep texting you while you're at work to ask me where something is? I hate that. Yeah, I can see what you're typing. I can see what you're typing. But because it's a metal sign and it's a metal refrigerator, I think I can just drop it. Like, I got little round magnets, and I also got some really small earth magnets. I think the earth magnets probably be better for it. And just drop one magnet in each corner where that sign's going to be, or put them on the sign, and then get it squared up and just stick it to the front of that fridge, because that'll be outside my seed house. So if somebody wants to buy eggs, there'll be a cash box or whatever off to the side where they can just, if you want to buy eggs, buy eggs. You know, yeah. Well, that's funny. If I get off one letter, it'd be gibberish too. And I find it ironic. I send text messages all the time to friends of mine, and excuse me, I got a fruit fly flying around. I have to deal with, I don't know, maybe it's not a fruit fly. It might be what they call a drain fly. But I find it ironic that I forget where we were talking. But anyway, my girlfriend will move stuff. I'll put it where I know where it is, and she'll move it. Or my employee will use it, and you'll put it in a totally different space. I have this like OCD thing where it says everything has its place. I was raised that way with my dad. Like his tool wall actually had every wrench drawn on the wall with what size was supposed to be on that hook or whatever. And I've always been that way. And my old landlord was terrible about that. Hey, Ivy's family factotum. There you go, brother. Anson and Gladys, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I uh, I actually believe, by the way, that well, my girlfriend is my employee as well. So yeah, there's not a lot of big difference there, except for my employee that works in my wood shop is different than my girlfriend that's the making it home. How we doing, Lauren? Making it the my girlfriend is my seed house manager. It's one of those things. I know it's a nice shirt. And Anson and Gladys, I have to thank you. I think I found the property of my dreams. I'm not real positive on that right now. It's 15 plus acres. It's in Yell County, which is a little bit farther away. But last night I was talking to Drew, and Drew said that's not an issue. You know, it's an hour and a half away from Drifts and Dreamers 5 and those guys, which to me is not a pretty big issue. I mean, I live in New York. I drive all over the whole state to do different things. And so I reached out to the realtor. I haven't heard back from her yet, or him. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure which one I'm talking to on that part. But I reached out and I said, "Hey, I have questions about this property. My first one is you live right inside the county line. Well, Brett, you and I will probably be neighbors then. This is off of a dead end street. It's 15 plus acres. But my questions to the realtor was, are there building restrictions? Because, you know, it's part of the Ozarks. And I know in Missouri, the Ozarks, oh my God, the restrictions there are terrible. You're not allowed to live in your camper while you're building your home. So I'll make sure that's not an issue. So I want it to be non-restricted property by all means. And I don't want to have to reach out to the county and go out and get like permits or anything like that. Yeah, easements, back taxes, if it's too steep to work. Well, I don't think it's going to be too steep to work, Lauren, because you know this property actually was starting to be developed by somebody, and it's off the end, like I say, off the end of a dead end road. It's 15 plus acres, and yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's outside of city limits by all means, but it's like the end of a dead end road, and it already has power, and it already has telephone on the site, which to me is like really good because I want to be like free. Where I live right now, I can't build a doghouse without buying a building permit to build the doghouse. And believe it or not, they actually in New York, they actually have to come in and inspect that doghouse before you are allowed to let your dog come in and use it. It's such a stupid rule. But what it also does is that every time you pay for these permits and every time you have these inspections, is it raises your taxes. It's nuts, you know. I don't want to play with that. Yeah, well, that's what it was. It was going to be set up as somebody's future fishing camp, I guess it was, or I'm sorry, hunting camp. A lot of deer, a lot of turkey. That's fine. I like deer. I'm a big venison fan. Turkey, I'm good turkey once a year. You know, that's Thanksgiving. My girlfriend, on the other hand, she'd eat turkey every day if she could get it because she's a turkey freak. But yeah, I mean the price is a little on the steep side, what I think it should be. But I mean $48,000, and that's a little over $3,000 an acre. But when you figure how much they might have paid to have the electrical brought onto that property and to bring a telephone, that was kind of weird too. If I have telephone, then that doesn't do me much because I'm not using regular telephones. Everything we do is off of our cell phones. But to have that availability is pretty good. Yeah, I'd have to smoke it. I'd have to smoke it. Well, you know, if you bring me out, a wild hog, I'm not too sure I would try to keep them off the property because I'm a ham fanatic. I use ham a lot. Oh, okay. We'll tell back to good Rachel that I said hi. But yeah, I mean, I'm a ham fanatic. I like my bacon and all that stuff. And of course, I'm gonna have to go back to Ivy's Family Factotum to see what was going on with the ham. I haven't had a chance to watch that one yet. But yeah, I don't want an area where there's any building restrictions, and I don't want an area where I have to worry about getting a building permit or do this or do that. Hey, the Moran Experience is here. Hey, how you guys doing? I would like to have fiber optics, but if T-Mobile is available in the area, I'm already working with them right now for wireless internet. It's actually what I'm using right now, and that's like $50 a month, and I'm pretty content with that. And I'm really hoping that this is my dream property. Anson and Rachel, I was gonna reach out to you, but maybe I'll reach out to Brett because he's in the area and just say, Brett, can you do me a favor and just go walk that property and maybe give me some heads up on it because I'm in New York. It's a long drive to get out there, and my intention is to get it set up. I was actually talking to Drew last night, and Drew was like, "Well, that's not that far away," and I was like, "I was glad you said that because I would really like to be able to maybe have you go over there with your backhoe because that John Deere is pretty awesome." And if it doesn't already have like an established pathway to make a driveway, have them go in, clear out a spot, and clear it out for me or whatever. Oh, wait, you're telling me Peter from Old Man King Homestead, he's in that area too? Is that the Peter you're talking about, or is there another Peter in the area? I think that my big thing would be to get a driveway going in. And hi Rachel, how you doing? Glad to see you here. Oh, he lives with you? I thought he was living. I thought he was like camping out at Bobblehead's place there. All right. Well, Anson, I appreciate that. I'm semi-retired, so there we are. Well, Lauren, you're willing to do, or yeah, Lauren, you're willing to do that too. All right, cool. That would be awesome. Yeah, the thing is for me, it's a long drive. You know, I'd like to see what happens if uh, it turns out to be a really wetland, or if it's just like an unbuildable site in any area. I mean, I don't need a lot of the acres. I'm only originally looking. Yeah, okay. I understand that, Anson. Oh, Peter, welcome home, brother. Well, lazy days ahead. I am so glad that you received that. I thought I had an email so that I could track it myself to make sure you got it. Paul Honeyman, how you doing, brother? I thought that I sent that out so that I kept a copy of the tracking number so I could see when you got it. And I was like, oh. Now, one thing I will say about that light lazy days ahead, Jess and Lisa, is that you don't want to run it on battery. I did battery for my mom's, even though it was plugged into a wall outlet with the USB cord and stuff. It relied only on the batteries, and I did mine that I was showing everybody, and the batteries were only good for about 2 days, and that was a copper top battery. And copper top batteries normally on anything that you, I mean, it's an LED light. I use so little wattage, it's not even funny. But it would run them batteries down, and it wouldn't switch over to using the USB or whatever. And once the batteries run down, the light quits working. It flickers is what it does. It just quits working. So I highly recommend anybody that has one of those to plug it into a wall outlet with a USB, because, or plug it into a computer as far as that goes. But to have that so that it is running and relying on batteries, some things are sucking batteries, and I don't understand why they suck batteries so bad. Like I say, a normal copper top battery, I can put it into an LED flashlight, and that thing will last me months. And now with these lights, they just seem to really suck them up really hard, and I'm not really good at it. You know, I I ran a test on mine because I wanted to show it, and then I did it for my mother, and hers was plugged into the wall. Of course, they used the wrong charger. I don't have it. Oh, yes, I do. I do have it. Hold on. I got a couple of receipts in my pocket. I got file away yet. I do have it, but the charger that my girlfriend gave my mom to put it in, see if we can get that to come up. Yeah, there you go. That's actually a Magic Jack phone. That's not made to be used to run lights or anything like that. It's made to be used to run an internet type telephone. And it kind of blew me away. I was like, what? This is not right. You're going to be joining Friday Shenanigans starting next Friday. Simply Jan. Then us on Brenda. Okay. Is that on my list? No, I don't see it. I have 5C is Brenda, Freedom Redbird, and also Rocks and That with Country Road Cure. Then I have 6C with Mike and Lissa, Drifting Dreamers 5. And then, and yeah, I do have Jan on there at 6C as well. All right, so maybe I do have you. All right, maybe I do have you. I didn't know you were going to do Friday Night Shenanigans, but I will put a star next. The Morning and Experience, how we doing? Yeah, they're not $20 forever anymore. They're like $39.95 or something like that a year. But to be honest with you, my house phones run on them, and they always work. Hey, Wanda Henry, how you doing? Welcome in. I use Magic Jack for my house phone, which I don't rely on my house phone, and I really hate it when it rings. You can't see it, but somewhere is back here. Okay, well, let me do the other shoulder. Yeah, somewhere is back there in that corner over there. there is a phone that runs on Magic Jack, and I've got stuff in front of it right here on the floor that I have to trip over to even get anywhere near it. So when it rings, I normally ignore it because most of the time it's just spam callers anyway. But yeah, so that's kind of a weird situation. But yeah, I like Magic Jack. If somebody calls and leaves a voice message, I get an email. I can listen to the voice message. If I feel it's important, I can call them back. And if I call them back, I call them back with my cell phone. That way they have the number that they should be calling, should they choose to call back or whatever. And it gives me the opportunity to say, yeah, whatever. It was a good call or a bad call. So Magic Jack is pretty good, but they are $39.95 a month now, or $39.95 a year. But even at $40 a year, you just can't beat that price, And same thing with the T-Mobile internet. That's $50 a month. You aren't going to get that if you're doing fiber. You're not going to get that if you're going out and reaching out to Elon Musk and those guys. And you definitely aren't going to do it with the Nomad systems or whatever that are out there. So if I can get the T-Mobile to work, I'm happy with it. I'm actually very happy with it. Where I'm at right now, we have Spectrum, and Spectrum is part of our local Time Warner cable system, and that one has a really, really, really bad influence on the weather. And it doesn't have to be my local weather, it's just any weather. If there's bad weather wherever their satellite towers are located at the time or whatever, then it becomes a really bad situation. So I try to stay away from that one. All right, so for anybody that wasn't on Brian, I do have a product here. I'm not being sponsored by these guys. I had to buy it myself. But I do have a product here that I'd like to show. And this thing is made by a company called Geecom. See if I can get it where you can read it. There you go, Geecom. This thing is 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches by 2 inches. And this is the fastest computer that I own. This connector here, I believe, is for Wi-Fi. I'm not positive on it. But over on this side, it has an SD card reader. Over on the back, you've got a mini HDMI. You got your power. Oh, you got your power. Mini HDMI. Plug-in internet and regular HDMI. Right, there we go. Okay, plug-in internet. 2 USB ports. And you come all the way over here, you got the HDMI ports and stuff on it. This thing is like really cool. And the best part about it, you can see this one, it's got 2 screws right here in the back of it. They're just like lightly screwed in. It comes with a frame. It mounts on the back of any standard TV. And then you just plug in your keyboard, your mouse, or wireless keyboard and mouse or whatever. They're about $450, cheaper than any laptop I've ever bought. But this thing, I'll be honest with you, is awesome. When you put it back where it belongs. When you hit the power button on that thing, it's like instantly on. Instantly on. It runs off of an SSD hard drive, which is like 3 times faster than any of your old hard drives and stuff. And there's a guy that dealt with computers. I had a computer store for a while. That thing blew me away. I only bought it because I needed something with me that I could take with me to be able to produce videos while we were at Lake Tenkeller, Oklahoma meetup. And I took my T-Mobile with me as well. And I was super impressed with that computer. It was just like, push the button. You're talking 2 seconds or whatever. And it says, okay, what's your password? You put it in. Okay, Windows is open. You're ready to rock and roll. The brand of it is, it's from a company called Geekom, Geekom. They're, like I say, they're about $450. That one there is the, I think it's called the IT11. They've got a new one out after that one, and man, I'll tell you, the everything about it is just so super quick, and downloading videos, that was my big issue. Would it be able to let me download videos off of my phone, run through my program that I run through, which is Filmora? And I ran them through Filmora. I was able to go in and do the editing and then send it through T-Mobile upline so that they'd be on the YouTube page. And they were there like within a couple of minutes. The pair of them worked so well together. And I was like, boy, I really like this system. I really do. It's one of those things that, you don't see it a whole lot all the time. But once you find it and you find it, and you love it, you just gotta share it. That's the thing about me. If you find it, you just gotta share it. Another one that I just found today, which has really got me going now, is you go to a fast food restaurant, it's always gonna be $10, $15 for a meal. I went to Taco Bell today and I bought what they called their $5 snack box, and it blew me away. That thing came with their sugar cinnamon twists as a dessert, a hard shell taco that wasn't a supreme, another taco that is in like a chalupa wrap that was a supreme, and a burrito, but you have to also buy a drink. The drink is included in the price. And I was like, man, that is such a good. Hey, AJ, how we doing, hon? That was such an awesome price, $5.40. I walked out of the restaurant and I got a meal for 2 people, and I was like, well, that's pretty special. I haven't seen any other restaurant deals that can blow that one out of the water, but we're talking back in the days of the $5 footlong, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty good. Yeah, Rachel, or Rachel. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. The problem with laptops is the only part you have access to do any changes is to upgrade the memory, and that's only if it has the availability to upgrade. And one thing I used to tell people all the time is if you want to know whether you've got a computer, any computer that can take an upgrade, go to 1-800memory.com and you download their program. It's just a little check program and install it on your computer. Once it's there, that'll tell you how much memory your computer has, how much memory you can take, what kind of memory you want, and they're actually one of the best companies I've ever bought memory from. And that is probably one of the best ones. Yeah, well, that's the problem, Rachel. Most laptops don't come with a really good video card. I know I've got a lot of them. I've got a lot of them. I've got one laptop right now that I use for my laser downstairs, my CO2 laser. It's dedicated just for that purpose. Well, I used it for a live one time not too long ago on my back patio. But the last time I wanted to do a live down there, I could not get the camera to function properly. It was very, very sketchy. And it was bothering me, and I was just like, all right, update the computer. Yeah, it's still pretty sketchy. Okay, well, restart. Yeah, it's still pretty sketchy. And it made it so I came back up here to do the live. But don't worry. I mean, right here behind this door beside me, we're working on it. We're going to be working it on again this next week, actually. That's going to be my new office, which is where I'm sitting right now, because this junk room is going to be hauled out eventually. But I'm in my office. My office is going to be moved out there, and I'm going to create like a little studio area out there. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but I'm going to try to create a little studio area out there. And then it's going to have this like really big storage closet for everything else that just, I have to take care of. Not this kind of stuff here. This stuff will be probably put back out in the garage whenever the weather breaks, or taken up to my attic or whatnot. But that's one of the things I have. Yeah, well, Rachel, that's one of the things. I used to build computers, and I would custom build them for customers. But the problem is when you do that, if you buy parts today to build a brand new computer, within 2 months, those parts are outdated. Now they've got something better and greater and probably more expensive. They get outdated so fast. Everything gets outdated so fast. Now the Gcom IT11, I don't think it's going to get outdated anytime soon. Although now they do have a new one. Yeah, fellow laser guy. I have a diode laser, blue and IR. I don't have the IR yet, but I have the X Tool D1. I have a Fox Alien 20 watt, and then I also have a Omtech 60 watt CO2 laser. So yeah, I got lasers. Yeah, well, Wanda, I'm gonna be honest with you. This Geekom, it blew me away, and it's got storage capacity. I think it's got a built-in 1 terabyte drive into it. Hey Jay, how we doing, Ace? That was one of the things that blew me away with that computer, was just the speed of it, the ability to do what I wanted to do. And I had it hooked up to a wireless keyboard, wireless mouse, running off the back of a TV. Actually, I got the TV that I rented off on my floor behind me. It's smaller than the monitor on my computer right now, but it worked, and I was pretty happy with it. I was for $450. I mean, if you want to buy a really good video card, it's going to be $359. So that's one of the things that I was concerned with is, will it work? Can I make it work? And I brought it. I got it home. I hooked it up to the TV. The first thing I found was that if you don't have a good quality HDMI cord, it will not work well. The HDMI cord that it came with is the one that I'm using with it now. I used one that I had hooked up previously to a TV that was working good, and it crapped out on me. I was really upset with it. But yeah, I mean that's one of the things. You gotta have good video, and I think the SSD RAM, SSD hard drive, that stuff all plays into it. I don't remember what the RAM was on it, but I think it comes with like 128 shared, which means your video card, if you're not doing any major like playing around between different programs and you're concentrating just on your video, downloading it, editing it, whatever. And I don't care what program you use. You could use Sony Premiere, or you could be using like I do, Filmora. Filmora to me is a very excellent program. I think I paid $69.95 for it. I own it for life. It was free upgrades, but now that they went to 13, it's you got to buy it again, and then you got to pay extra if you want it with that. I ordered it through Geekom, GEEKOM.com. They have a new one out that's better than this one. I don't know what the stats are on it or anything else, but this one, if you can buy the IT11, it's awesome. It comes with Windows 11 built in, and it's the Windows 11 Pro, I believe. But the startup speed is like bam, bam, bam. Yeah, Newegg is one of the problems that I've had. Okay, I've dealt with Newegg a lot. And one of the problems I've had with Newegg is that they will send you incompatible parts for something you're doing. Like if you want to upgrade your sound card and you want to go by just a regular stereo speaker system to like a surround sound system, you can plug that card into your computer, and there's a good chance it may not work with the system. And they don't give you the option of saying, is this, like when you go to Rock Auto, is this compatible with my vehicle? And they'll say yes or no. Newegg doesn't do that with what system are you trying to put it in. And that kind of blows me away. Now, one of the other things I do is like all of my desktop computers that I have are all HP computers. I refuse to buy any other brand. At one point in time, Smith Corona, when they moved to Mexico, came up with the Acer brand, and the Acer brand was blowing people out of the water. And I really loved Acer products at that point in time, but they're not HP compatible. I hear, tell you, Tiny Farm Markets, Tiny Farm Nuggets, how you doing? I hear a lot of people talking about, well, I want a Dell computer. Well, Dell computers are very proprietary. If something goes wrong with a Dell computer, Dell has to either sell you the part or you have to send it to Dell for the repair. And they would prefer you send it to them than to hire somebody like me to do the change out. Even though I'm very capable of doing it, I've done it for years. They're very, very proprietary on all of their parts. And because of that, it makes it so that it costs more. Yeah, there are some good sites that allow for you to check between them to make sure, but yeah, expensive. That's the problem. And Dell computers, if you have a problem with a Dell computer and they can't fix it on site and they have to take it back to their shop, now you're out of computer. Actually, Dave over at Halfass Homestead, he's been dealing with that. He bought a brand new Dell, and I was like, dude, man, you were in IT. Why did you buy a Dell? Memory Express, yes, that's a very good site as well. I agree with that. Actually, that's the site that I went to upgrade my laptops, because I went to 1-800memory.com. They told me what I needed, but they didn't have it in stock, and they weren't going to have it. And so I sat back and said, well, if that's the case, then at least you gave me the information I needed. I went to Memory Express. I ordered it. It was cheaper. I got it super fast, and that's what I have in my downstairs one. Close the outer ducts. Hell, yeah. There's a lot. Compact computers back in the day were like really, really nasty, and yeah, Gateway, Kelly. I'll be honest with you. I've had a lot of Gateway computers that came through my shop. They were probably one of the toughest ones I've ever had to deal with. And they are not very compatible with a whole lot of parts either. They claim they are, but they aren't. That's why everything I own pretty much is done through HP. My printer right here, this is an HP. Out in my seed house, there's 2 more of them, just like this one. They're all HP. I've had issues with Epson. Actually, right there on the floor, that box right there on the floor. That's an Epson printer, practically brand new, and it was an EcoTank too. That was the part that bothered me. EcoTank that did both sides printing, and I used it. I don't know how long ago I bought it, but I haven't really used it a lot. It wasn't working for me out in the seed house because it was too slow at printing, and we have to be able to print like on demand all the time. And so I brought it in here and I put it on my desk, and I used it. Well, I do payroll every month, every week. I do payroll, and every week payroll comes out with a colored sheet. You got these definition lines that are in color, green, dark green. And I was doing payroll every week with it. I was printing out things that I was buying online for receipts and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, I had black and I had yellow. The blue and the cyan quit working. Or cyan and magenta. They quit working. And I was like, well, Amazon, can you send me cleaning sheets for it? And they did send me some cleaning sheets. But the problem is, the cleaning sheets they sent me are for cleaning out the paper track. They aren't made for cleaning out the print head. I ran one through because somebody told me, well, just put some alcohol on it, run it through and see if that helps out. I ran it through a couple times with alcohol on it. It did absolutely nothing good for it. So that's back in the box. That was going to end up getting taken down to the local recycle yard. I can't take it back. Alienware. Oh man, you are talking some high dollar if you want to play with Alienware products. But I'll tell you what, when you get it, they are still good. They are still good. Well, Wanda Henry. It depends on what your needs for editing are. Now, like I say, I play with Filmora. It's like a $39.95 program. You buy it once and you own it, and they do give you upgrades all the time on it. And Filmora is actually a very high end, but you can also download a free copy of Sony Premiere. And Sony Premiere is not bad. It's a lot of a learning curve where it's not so much with Filmora. What Filmora, where they get their money from, is they sell you extras. And extras says, if you want to have the ability to do like a video transformation, so this video stops right here and it does like a transformation into the next video. It comes with a couple of them built in, but they're not really great. But you can go out and you can spend $70 or whatever, and you can buy one where it'll just explode into the next video frame, and it'll do all kinds of neat stuff. And it also allows you to also play around a lot too. Yeah, I love Filmora. I've played with Sony Premiere. They sent me Sony Premiere free, and I've also got a copy of Sony Premiere Pro for free. But the learning curve on that one is terrible. There's a lot of people that love it, but those people are, I mean, I just went out and got a gimbal for my GoPro. I've been watching videos on, okay, well, now that I've got it, how do I make it work? What does it do? You spend $100 on something, you want to be able to see what's going on with it. And I got it, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm glad I got it. It would be like really, really cool to be able to do this, do that with. And, yeah. Rachel, you need to look into seeing if you can bring your DDR5 RAM up higher. I believe that computer will go to like 128. I believe that would be a dream computer if you can get it up that high. But even if you can double it and go to 64 would be good too. DDR RAM is probably one of the fastest RAMs that they ever put out. Well, my thing is that if you're using Filmora and you're liking Filmora, Lauren, to go out and try somebody else's program, yeah, you might get, I don't know, 14 days trial or 30 days trial with it. The problem is canceling that trial so that you're not stuck with it. And another problem is the learning curve. A lot of these have a really high learning curve. If you're going to spend the money, you're better off spending the money on buying what they call the Filmora resource package and adding that to what you already have. All right, so I think we've talked enough about computers. I've got a 2014 Chevy Silverado truck that I purchased back in about January, December of last year for $24,000. Much like Dave over at the Homestead, come on Homestead, he's having transmission problems. Mine has been in and out of the shop, been in and out of the shop, been in and out of the shop. And I even took it to a different shop for a second opinion. They told me, well, give us $8,500 and we'll pull the motor and put a different one in. And I was like, put a different motor in? They said, well, yeah, you got so many problems wrong with this motor. It needs a new motor. And I said, well, all right, well, if you did that, then you'd have to change the wiring harness. And they're like, well, why would we change the wiring harness? And I said, because the other shop 3 times in a row told me the wiring harness was bad in it. They've done so much repair on it. And I'm like, I'm not giving you that kind of money. So I brought the truck back home. Long story short, I brought the truck back home and I still owe 15,000 on it. And it can't pull my camper. It can't be New York State inspected. It doesn't get the gas mileage that it got back when I bought it. It's an LTZ, just like Dave's is, so it's got all the bells and whistles, which I like. But I'm just like, man, I gotta find something to do with this truck. I can't use it. Can't use it. So we went out, we bought the 2023 Hyundai Elantra Limited that has all the bells and whistles. And I really love that one. And they reached out and said, hey, we got a year-end clearance sale going on. We got some really nice vehicles. So I went into their live chat and I said, all right, what Hyundai do you have that comes with a tow package that can pull an 18-foot self-contained camper? And they were like, oh, I think it's the Tucson. They gave me two different options, but I think it was the Tucson. It was the bigger, the better variety of the two anyway. And the price was reasonable. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm paying $305 a month on this truck payment. And you're asking me to walk into another $500 a month payment on this. Not that I wouldn't want another brand new vehicle. I'll be honest with you. I'm done dealing with used vehicles. This one was the last one I'm playing with. Before this one, I had a Nissan Titan, and that thing was nickel dime. And this one has been $1,000. And this is I think, third Chevy I've had that's been that way. So I'm done with Chevy for one. I can't deal with Chevy. I have had Ford trucks I've had issues with. I've had Chevy vehicles I've had issues with. These new ones coming up to market now, to me, I want a brand new. If I were to go out and buy a brand new Chevy Silverado 1500 LTZ today, the price on that thing is $85,000. I paid $89,000 for my house. I can't justify the means on that one. But the Elantra, we bought it brand new, had 50 miles when we got it. It was 0 miles at the lot. They like took it off the truck, rolled it into the lot, and parked it. And the 50 miles that was on it when I picked it up was because they took it out to get it Z-barred, because I wasn't going to buy it without it. And they also had to take it out to get the New York State inspection done and some other things. And it came with like lifetime oil changes, lifetime tire rotations, all kinds of a lot of free benefits. And every time they take it into their shop, it's a 150-point check, free of charge, And I'm like, yeah, I like that. Yeah, Anthony, I'll be honest with you. I've seen a lot of nice used trucks. Actually, I have a lot of friends that have a 2015 Silverado that's in better shape than my 2014 right now. And I'm like, how did that work? And they probably paid about the same price, I bought mine because it was the LTZ. I wanted all the features for it, the backup camera, the GPS system, the moonroof, the whole 9 yards. And apparently I bought the biggest lemon I could have found. Beautiful truck, but wow, nasty. So I'm kind of looking at buying another Hyundai that can pull the camper. And if I do, then I'll probably use that as a trade in towards the truck when we get out to Arkansas, because I need something that can haul lumber, and I am not putting lumber in the back of a brand new vehicle. I don't care if it's a brand new Chevy or brand new Ford or brand new Dodge or what it is. You know, it's either that or I buy a trailer that can haul lumber. That'd probably be the better bet. But the problem I have is that most of the issues that I have with buying brand new vehicles now and looking to move to Arkansas is that I pay New York State sales tax on them, which is 8%. And if I take them to Arkansas and I register them in Arkansas, now I've also got to pay Arkansas sales tax rate on them. First time registration, you got to pay their sales tax. And on two brand new vehicles, you're talking over $50,000 just for two vehicles and cost. And, to me, that would be like kind of stupid. Wanda, I have not gotten any news on the land yet. I did reach out to McGraw Realtors and told them I had very, very high interest in the property. And I asked them some questions about restrictions, because it's part of the Ozarks. It's not Missouri Ozarks where there's a lot of restrictions. It's Arkansas Ozarks. But I don't want restrictions on the land of what I have to build, how I build it, or have to have permits to build it. And that's where I'm at. Yeah, Anson, that's kind of what I'm thinking, or if I do it, trade it in on something that didn't cost as much as a brand new vehicle, or just, again, wait till I get there, I can always come back to New York and pick the camper up. That's not an issue. I have plenty of friends around where I live right now where if I said, hey, I need to park my camper in your yard for a while I go buy another vehicle to come back and get it, would you let me do it? Or I could just probably put it on the back of the U-Haul like Gary and them guys did, because there ain't no way we're moving without a U-Haul. There ain't no way. That's one of the things that I've already decided when we moved from our last place to where we're at now. I had to bring my whole wood shop. I've got a really nice, I think it's a 6x10 enclosed trailer. I mean, really nice. We bought that brand new too. And if I could load up part of my wood shop in there, the parts that I need the most to go out to the land, behind the U-Haul for everything else I want to take to the land, then that would be great. My main thing right now is that I want to be able to get the land suitable for doing what I want to do. And one of the first things, Halfass Homestead, how are we doing, brother? One of the first things I want to do getting the land is get a driveway put in. It's already got electric on it. Get like a 14x60 shed, kind of like Roxanne and Anthony did. Get that on the land, get it leveled and blocked up, because my seed house is 13x40. And if I can get something bigger, that gives me a place to be able to put the seed house in and even have room to like maybe add a bed or whatever. And then I can come down, I can work on it, I can do what needs to be done to make it work. And then once it's all set up, hey, Lindy, okay, how we doing? Once we get that all set up and stuff, now I've got a place where I can lay my head down at night and I can start working on building my garage. And that's why I want my tools with me so I can build the garage. If I get the shed, I got a secure place to lock everything up. Go down, start building the garage. That would be probably the time that I'd be looking to buy a truck or something in the area. And then once the garage is up, move all the tools out of there and then take that shed and actually turn it into the seed house. Because then I could use the garage for my temporary housing as well. And then once everything's set up like that, then it would be, okay, let's start working on downsizing what we have here. Get things ready to move the seed house and contents. I'm not moving the whole seed house. This one's not leaving the property. This one's staying where it's parked. It would cost way too much to ship. We're talking a lot of miles. And then load all that into a U-Haul, take that down there. Now we got a place to stay. We got a place to work from. And hopefully we have internet set up because we can't run it without it. And then at that point, I would start saying, okay, What are we going to do for the house? Am I going to build it? Am I going to do like Rox and Anthony did? I don't want to go. I don't want to go all out like Gary and Melanie did. I can tell you right now, I'm not a block layer. I'm 59 years old. I'm not going to start learning how to lay block. I'm not going to have that much energy to lay block. Yes, Wanda Henry. Once we get everything set up in Arkansas, where we get this place emptied out and we are comfortable down there, we will sell where we're at. We bought this property for $89,000 and we've been remodeling it for 4 years. We're adding on rooms, we're doing all kinds of work and fancying it up. It's 1900 farmhouse, which takes a lot of work because there's nothing square, there's nothing level. Well, there is now, but there wasn't. And we're still working on it. And once we get everything done down there to where we can comfortably move down there, I've got employees up here that will keep working on this one, get everything finished out the way it needs to be, and then we list this one, and we just sit and wait. And we got a business that makes almost $500,000 a year, so we can support ourselves without relying on YouTube or anything else. Of course, if I'm down there's gonna be an awful lot of videos of it. Awful lot of videos, because there ain't no way I'm not doing that. I want to get my subscriber count up. Right now, last I checked, I think it was 365. I did get the 4,000 watch hours, but I didn't hit the required subscribers to get monetized, and I'm not self for it anyway. I don't really care about it anyway, And then, but once we put this up for sale and we get it sold, I think it's probably going to hit the market a lot more than 2 times of what we paid for it. Right now in New York, for some reason, and I don't understand why, people are wanting to buy rural areas in New York to get out of the cities or whatnot, and they don't care about the amount of taxes we pay. And I feel bad for them because it's a lot in taxes. We're on 0.59 acres with a house, a garage, and a seed house that we bought and brought in and remodeled. And our taxes are like almost $7,000 a year just for land tax. That doesn't count school tax and stuff like that. We don't have no kids in school, so I don't think we should have to pay that, but we don't have kids in school. And it's like, that's a lot of money. And after talking to Anthony and Roxanne to find out they got 41.36 with 2 houses, plans of building a future garage, a nice tree house for the kids, and half of their pole barn belt, are paying like $500 a month or $500 a year. That blew me away. And I'm like, okay, now we're talking. Now I'm definitely heading your direction. And Anthony actually has been looking for property for me, and so is Mike from Drifting Dreamers 5. I tried to get Gary and Melanie from SLR to do it, but they are so busy on their projects, they barely get off the land other than to go shopping. That's one of the hard parts about it. Well, yeah, that's a lot of it, Gladys, is that people who want to pay high taxes because they don't know anything other than paying high taxes. But the thing is that I don't live, 100 miles from New York City. Actually, it's about a 4-hour drive. And in New York City, people make really, really good money. That 4-hour drive, gas, and time is nothing compared to what it costs to live within those city limits. To give you an idea, last time I checked, and it's been a while now. Last time I checked, a single bedroom flat in New York City was $2,600 a month, and that did not include your utilities, and it did not include anything else. That was $2,600 a month for a 1-bedroom flat, and those flats are not big. You got like a bedroom, a little sitting room, a kitchen, and a bathroom, and that is it. A studio you could probably pull in at about $1,300 to $1,800 a month. So it's awful lot of money for what little space that they actually got. Now, if you go down there, you don't rent apartments in New York City anymore. Now, if you want an apartment, you got to buy it, and them things are in the millions. Yeah, well, everything is bad if you rent. To be honest with you, everything is bad if you rent. My last place, we were paying, I had it locked in at $550 a month because I went in and I remodeled. It was a single wide house trailer with a addition on it. I remodeled everything, including the addition. But I had my rent locked in at the maximum of $550 a month. When I moved out of that place, the landlord asked me when we bought this house, he says, how much do you think we should charge for rent? And I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. You should get $750 to $800 a month for rent because everything's brand new. They moved in a tenant. That tenant was there for probably a whole year, never paid rent. They finally got the judge to let them throw them out. And then they brought in this family, and they were promised by the family's friends and everybody else that are friends of theirs that, yeah, he's going to give you the $800 a month rent for it, and he's going to come in with a large down payment on it for the first and last month's rent and all this stuff. And they were like, well, you're a friend of ours. No, if that's related to you, we'll do it. And they got in there, and then COVID hit. The minute COVID hit, our idiot of a governor said, you don't have to pay rent anymore, and they can't throw you out, regardless of your circumstances. They were there for all of 2020, all of 2021, or no, I'm sorry, all of 2020, all of 2021, all of 2022, and finally got them out around the beginning of 2023. And when they finally got them out, and they were owed like, I think it was $12,000 in back rent. It took a judge to get them out. I walked into the trailer with them to see what damages were done, and they ended up selling that trailer for, I think they put it on the market for $12,000 as is, whereas get it off the property. And they had another guy come right in within like an hour and a half after they listed it on Facebook Marketplace, and he bought it, and he had it out of there within a week. That place was totally trashed. There was no flooring left worth salvageable. I put in a whole brand new kitchen. They broke every freaking cabinet that was in there. They broke one of the toilets, never said anything to the landlord about it. It rotted the floor out underneath it. So that was a whole new floor that needed to be put in, and not counting the floor that I put on top of it. And it was just like, wow, how bad can you have people trash a place and never really pay you any rent? And now they got rid of it. They're going, well, we're thinking about maybe buying a double wide and putting that on the property and then renting the house out. And I was like, well, you want to do this again? I think you're stupid. You're not good landlords by any means. You know, the property when I rented it, my rent when I rented the trailer, I was paying $300 a month until I made it livable. So yeah, that was a bad deal for them. And now they're talking about wanting to probably do it again with their house. And I'm like, yeah, well, your house isn't that nice of a place. You're not going to get that much rent, and you're not good landlords, and you're not going to get a good tenant because you got a really bad reputation of being a bad one. And you know, we when we bought this house, the room that I'm in right now, this used to be a kitchen. Believe it or not, this all used to be a kitchen. That hole over there was a dishwasher. This was an upstairs apartment to the house, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, kitchen, and living room. And I don't know what they were getting for rent, but the problem was this is R1 residential, which means you are allowed 1 family. And they had 2 families living in it. That's why we got it so cheap. If the local code enforcement would have ever found out that this place was being rented out while they were living in it at the same time, they probably would have pulled their certificate of residency. And then nobody can live in the house until somebody goes in and remodels. That's why I'm here now. I'm remodeling. Everything in this house is getting changed. All right, guys, now it's time to go over to Gillum Family Farm, or Gillum Farms. They've got something special going on tonight, and I hear Jason and Tara from White Rock Nation are going to be there. Let's go check them out. Thank you all for joining me.